Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side podcast with me, Annabelle Kemi. It's good to have you here with me today. Remember the last episode we spoke about femicide and its dangers. Today, in a similar mood, we are going to be talking about an issue that affects women a lot in Nigeria, and that is single motherhood. We are going to consider its causes, challenges, and the societal impact. Single motherhood is an increasingly prevalent phenomenon in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, only recently there were lots of arguments on social media platforms as to if a man would marry a single mother or not. And it was funny because you discover that even the most intelligent, seemingly intelligent and educated ones had nasty things to say about single mothers, not considering what would have led to a woman becoming a single mother in the first place. There were lots of negative talks and a lot a lot of verbal abuse against women that were single mothers. And I thought to talk about this. Single motherhood reflects broader global trends and the unique sociocultural dynamics within countries. Today I'm focusing on Nigeria. Despite the growing number of single mothers, this group continues to face significant challenges from societal stigmatization to economic hardships. The impact of single motherhood on children and society at large is profound and it necessitates a closer examination. It is necessary that we consider its causes, its effects, and its potential remedies. Probably people will begin to see things from a more humane angle. Now, let's consider the statistics on single motherhood in Nigeria. The exact number of single mothers in Nigeria is difficult to ascertain because, as you know, we rarely keep records. There is no comprehensive data on such things. However, estimates suggest that single motherhood is on the rise, particularly in urban areas. According to a 2018 study by the African Population and Health Research Center, APHRC, nearly 1 in 4 Nigerian children is being raised by a single mother. So, what does that tell you? These statistics highlights the growing prevalence of single motherhood in a society that traditionally values nuclear and extended family structures. Further research indicates that the rate of single motherhood varies across different regions and socioeconomic groups within the country. Urban areas like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, where cultural norms are more relaxed and economic pressures are more intense, tend to have higher rates of single motherhood compared to rural regions. The increase in single motherhood is also more pronounced among younger women, reflecting broader challenges in societal attitudes towards marriage and family. A lot of women, having seen the trauma and the experience of older women, have chosen not to get married. I hear a lot of young girls say, I would rather have a child, take care of my child, and just do me because I do not want to be subjected to what I see other women being subjected to. This is a very terrible mindset to, and it shouldn't be encouraged. Now, what are the causes of single motherhood in Nigeria? Several factors contribute to the rise of single motherhood. These factors intersect with the others to kind of create a complex socioeconomic landscape. They include unplanned pregnancies. Unplanned pregnancies are a leading cause of single motherhood in Nigeria. A significant number of young women, particularly in urban areas, become single mothers due to unplanned pregnancies. These pregnancies often result from a lack of access to comprehensive sex education because mothers are even afraid to talk about sex with their teenagers. And sometimes it could result from rape. Last time we spoke about femicide, there's been a rise, a scary rise in the cases of rape in Nigeria lately. Also, the lack of access to contraceptives. It shocks me when I see that there's easy access to condoms and the man gets to make the choice. But there is no easy access to contraceptives for young women because a woman who wants contraceptive is viewed as loose. And societal pressures that discourage open discussions about sexual health. When faced with an unplanned pregnancy, many women find themselves raising children on their own, either due to the father's refusal to take responsibility or because they are not ready for marriage themselves. Also, another cause of single motherhood in Nigeria is divorce and separation. While divorce rates in Nigeria are lower compared to Western countries, they are steadily increasing. Marital breakdowns due to infidelity, domestic violence, and incompatibility often leave women as single mothers. A lot of things our mothers took in and swallowed. We have come to realize that we do not have to swallow those things. So you see a lot of young women being willing to leave their marriages when they experience physical or emotional abuse. The lack of effective legal protection and support systems for divorced women worsens the challenges they face in raising children alone. Another cause of single motherhood is widowhood. And it shocks me when people mock single mothers because there are lots of young widows. Widowhood is a significant contributor to single motherhood in Nigeria, particularly in rural areas where traditional practices and beliefs are more prevalent. In many cases, widows are left to raise their children alone because sometimes they're even accused of being the reasons why their husbands died in the first place, often without financial support of their late husband's family. My mother experienced this, so this is something I know about. Cultural practices such that widows are treated and marginalized so unfairly pushes them to just remain single mothers. Socioeconomic factors too. Poverty, unemployment are critical factors driving the rise of single motherhood. Economic pressures can strain relationships, leading to separations or the decision to not marry in the first place, like I said earlier. Additionally, some women may choose to have children outside marriage as a means of securing a legacy for themselves because they perceive marriage as economically disadvantageous to them. Also, cultural shifts is one cause of single motherhood. Changing social norms and cultural values are contributing to the increase in single motherhood. Younger generations, particularly in urban areas, are increasingly rejecting traditional marital expectations, opting to cohabit or choose to have children outside of marriage. The shift reflects a broader global trend beyond Nigeria, but it highlights the tension between modern and traditional values in Nigeria. Now, a look at the challenges faced by single mothers in Nigeria. Single mothers in Nigeria are often faced with a lot of challenges that affect their well-being and the well-being of their children. Economic hardship. This affects widows a lot. Single mothers struggle to provide for their families. Some are forced to do untoward things just to feed their children. The lack of financial support from the father, if he's living at all, coupled with the absence of social safety nets, means that many single mothers live in abject poverty. This economic hardship limits their ability to access quality healthcare, quality education, and housing, which in turn affects their children's development and prospects. You find that a lot of young girls have babies and dump them for their grandmothers in the village. What do you expect of a child like that? The kind of education the child will be exposed to, because they have to go hustle, so to say, in the urban areas. Also, social stigmatization is one of the challenges faced by single mothers in Nigeria. Single mothers are frequently subjected to social stigma. Remember, I was talking about how they became the subject of conversation on social media for the longest time. The stigmatization of single mothers in Nigeria is deeply rooted in cultural and religious beliefs that prioritize marriage and traditional family structures. They forget that there are some people who were unlucky to be married, so to say, or have found themselves in difficult or tight corners and could do nothing about it. Single mothers are often unfairly judged, ostracized. They face discrimination in areas such as employment, housing, and social interactions. When it comes to housing, I know for a fact that in some places in Nigeria, a single mother cannot rent a house. Landlords refuse to rent homes to single mothers. This is prevalent particularly in places like Lagos and in the far north. And it is sad. What would you want this woman to do? Also, legal and institutional barriers. The legal systems in Nigeria offer limited protection and support for single mothers. They don't even recognize them. Custody battles, child support enforcement, property rights are often skewed against women, particularly those without the resources to navigate the legal system. Outside Nigeria, in the developed world, you hear cases of spouses being forced by courts to take care of their children if they recourse to the courts for help. But you can't do that in Nigeria. You will be told to go back and settle with whoever the father of the child is. The justice system does not support you in any way. Also, psychological and emotional strain. The pressures of single motherhood can take a significant toll on the psychological and emotional well being of women. The stress of balancing work, childcare, and societal expectations often leads to feelings of depression, anxiety, and inadequacy. This emotional strain can affect the mother child relationship, leading to potential developmental issues for the children. Sometimes the women now grow to hate their children because they see them as the causes of their problems in life. Now, what are the impacts on children and society? The challenges faced by single mothers inevitably impact their children and society as a whole. Children raised by single mothers face numerous challenges. These include poverty, limited access to education, and social stigmatization. The absence of a father figure can also lead to emotional and psychological issues for children, such as low self esteem, behavioral problems, and difficulties in forming relationships. Some of these children become very aggressive. It is, however, important to note that these outcomes are avoidable. Many single mothers provide loving and supportive environments for their children to ensure their success. So it is possible that a mother can actually provide such environments if supported by society. Now, a look at the social impacts of single motherhood. The rise of single motherhood has even broader societal implications, particularly in terms of social cohesion and economic stability. The economic struggles faced by single mothers can contribute to wider issues of poverty and inequality, while the social stigmatization of single mothers can also perpetuate a cycle of discrimination and exclusion. A lot of women, because of the shame of being single mothers, cannot even aspire to what they've always wanted to be. Some of them cannot seek for jobs in places because of fear of being identified as a single mother. What are the remedies to this situation? Addressing the challenges faced by single mothers in Nigeria requires a multifaceted approach, and it involves changes at the societal, legal, and policy levels. Public awareness and education is vital. It is time we started educating people that the fact that one is a single mother does not make her less human. We should promote understanding and empathy towards single mothers. This could help reduce the stigma and discrimination and allowing them to participate fully in society. Also, there's need for legal reforms. Strengthening legal protections for single mothers is crucial. Laws that ensure fair child support, custody arrangements, and property rights can help alleviate some of the economic and legal challenges faced by single mothers. Additionally, providing legal aid and support services to single mothers would help them navigate the legal system more effectively. Now, another solution is economic empowerment. Programs aimed at economic empowerment, such as vocational training, microfinance, entrepreneurship supports, could help single mothers achieve financial independence to a large extent. By providing them with the tools to support themselves and their children, these programs can reduce poverty and improve the well being of single parent families and the wider society. Lastly, social support systems. Developing strong social support systems, including community based programs, counseling services, and peer support networks, can help single mothers cope with the challenges they face. These support systems can provide emotional and psychological assistance, reduce isolation, and create a sense of community among single mothers. In conclusion, I'd like to say that single motherhood in Nigeria is a complex and multifaceted issue. It reflects broader societal changes and challenges. While single mothers face significant economic, social, and legal obstacles, they also demonstrate resilience and strength in raising their children under such difficult circumstances. So, addressing the challenges of single mothers requires a comprehensive approach. We need to begin to understand that they are part of us, they are Nigerians first, and they are humans. That a girl was raped and had a child does not mean that she does not deserve societal support and she should be excluded. That a woman lost her husband does not mean that she does not deserve a place in society. Or in cases where a woman felt that I'm getting older and marriage is nowhere in sight and she decides to have a child, that does not make her a lesser human. That is a decision she made because she wanted to feel like a mother, which is what almost every woman desires in life. So I'll enjoin us to be empathetic, to love one another, and to be kind to the women in our lives. That's it on the other side podcast today. I hope you learned a thing or two, and please stop being nasty to single mothers online and offline. They are human beings like you and I. Let's do this again next week. I am Annabelle Kemi. You've been on the other side podcast. I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.